Hi everyone, it's Farhan here from YummyNutrients.com. I've just completed day 3 of the 28-day Super Juice Me Juice Detox. Um, Interestingly, it is now almost, or just gone, 3 a.m. Um, and that's just from me kind of running some errands and tidying up and just getting prepared for tomorrow. Um, Tomorrow I'm definitely going to go to bed much earlier. Um, it's amazing how long things can take sometimes when you're sort of not as clear or as energetic or as vibrant. So let's see. So it's now the third day of me being on my juice detox, and how am I feeling? I am feeling okay. Like, I wouldn't say I'm buzzing. I wouldn't say like I'm feeling like really high. Um, I was meant to do like half an hour of physical activity. I haven't done that. I just didn't quite get there. And so I'll be doing that as of tomorrow. It's 30 minutes. I'm gonna schedule it in from 7:30 till 8 p.m. And it'll help having made all the juices first thing in the morning and just having them in the fridge. I think it does make it a lot simpler. Just make the juices once and then it's done. Having said that, today I think I spent almost 2 hours with the juicer, juicing, cleaning it up. I'm probably doing something wrong with the retro juicer, but like it just it was like making weird noises and getting clogged up. Like just there was lots of fiber that didn't actually kind of make it out through the chute and didn't go in the juice, and so it's just in the juicer. So I kind of opened it up and had to like empty it out. On a personal level, I'm still feeling quite tired and run down. I'm guessing once I start sleeping 8 hours a day, that'll probably have an impact. I know the body's kind of going through a detox cycle right now, and I'm awake when I should be sleeping and letting the body do its thing. So yes, naughty me. Um, One thing that I have noticed that's quite significant, I've had a really bad cough for couple of weeks now. It's been a real chesty cough and really hard to kind of just shift. And it's not gone, but it doesn't feel as severe as it was before. And I'm also like able to like the phlegm's loosened up, so sort of it's quite dry and felt like the phlegm just wasn't moving. Phlegm's coming out and it's clearing up. Like the chest isn't feeling as bad as it was before. Um, Still peeing a lot. I guess the body's still, just getting rid of toxins, kidneys flushing out, and all that stuff. I've got a bit of a weird sensation on the tongue. Um, it's not like, so in the past when I've done juice detoxes, basically like the tongue goes kind of, the only way I can describe it, it feels like it goes acidic, and it becomes painful when I drink juices. This time around, it doesn't feel that way at all. Like, if anything, there's definitely a sensation of like there's something on the tongue. Like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. Um, but it does feel like, whatever it is coming out of my system. And when I drink my juices, actually, it's the reverse. So normally, like when I drink a juice, then I would in the past have felt like a severe reaction on the tongue. And this time around, it's actually the reverse, that actually when I'm drinking the juices, it kind of makes the tongue feel a bit better. So I'm guessing whatever the bacteria or whatever it is that's like coming out of the body, the juices kind of just nourishing the body, healing the body, helping it along. And I'm really chuffed I was able to drink carrot juice. I've juiced it on day 2 and then like again today on day 3. And in the past, when I've juiced carrot juice, when I've juiced carrots, rather, you can tell it's getting late, right? I would end up losing my voice or kind of just feeling it in my throat. And I think because of the quality of the juice, like coming out from a masticating juicer rather than centrifugal juicer, it does make it makes a difference, right? It makes a big enough difference that I'm noticing it. Like I'm able to juice without having like severe side effects or reactions as I would have done in the past. And the only other thing of note today, I went and really dumb, but hey, I went and bought some bottles of water that come in glass rather than plastic. Um, Following on from what Darius said yesterday about like, don't pour your juice into plastic bottles. I was like, okay, fine. So apparently in London, um, there's not many stores that sell Voss water, and the reason why I chose Voss was because it's a cylindrical bottle and it's glass and it looks pretty and yeah, it'll be easier to clean because it's got a larger nozzle, like a larger entrance to it rather than a traditional sort of glass bottle that's like tapered and stuff. So I went and got a bunch of those from Whole Foods so that way I can make like 2 batches of juice and just stick them in one container and then just I'll drink half of it and then half again. I may get the smaller bottles as well, just so that there's an individual portion size. And I think in general, like it's probably convenient to have those, especially because I'll be drinking juice quite regularly now. Even when I finish the 20-day juice fast, I may continue doing it. I may continue to do another, I don't know, 20, 30 days, whatever it takes, like to get to my healthy point, like when my body's healthy and I feel healthy and I'm looking healthy and I have the energy and I'm being active and stuff. So I don't know, like I may just continue juicing until I get to that point, and then I may just taper back and get back on foods. Um, I may do like 5 days, 2 days, and like 5 days of juicing, 2 days of food. I don't know yet, but I know that I'm gonna do all the 28 days first. And so after that, like regardless of what routine I end up with, eventually when I get back into kind of normal life, so to speak, like eating as well as drinking juice, then I will still have like I'll probably just have the habit of juice as my breakfast. I think as a kind of sustainable way of living. When I did it in the past, it felt awesome. Like my body just felt amazing. And right now, like I'm still just I feel tired. I feel slow. I feel kind of almost heavy. So yeah, I'm just going through the detox phase, and as that passes, like I was curious, like I was looking at the app, like I downloaded the Super Juice Me app, and I was looking at it, and there was like there wasn't any like individual coaching videos on a daily basis, but there was a week one SOS, and I was like, I wonder what is this? Like, not that I'm like needing any help or anything. Like I'm enjoying the juice fast. I'm loving the juices. I'm really enjoying making them. I'm really enjoying drinking them. I'm enjoying just like what it means to me and what it means to my body. And I recognize that the body will go through whatever it needs to go through, and I'll come out the other side, and it will have all been worth it. Like I've got it really clear. I believe very strongly in this approach. I've seen a lot of benefit to a lot of people, and I'm really looking forward to kind of being one of those people. So like I'm not questioning it. I didn't have any like desires to eat anything. I mean, like interestingly, I was driving past, I think it was some fish and chip shop, and I was just like, oh, food. That was it, right? It's like it's a thought. Yeah, I used to eat that stuff. Well, generally I didn't. I mean, to be honest, anything fried and covered in flour I was generally avoiding as it was. But it was just like, oh, fish and chips. I remember what that's like. And there might be a time when I occasionally have something like that, but for now, I'm pretty adamant I'm gonna basically stay focused, get my health to a point where the weight is where I want it to be, where not so much like I'm not so bothered about what it looks like physically in terms of the number. I'm more interested in how do I feel in my body, how do I feel in my skin, how do I look in the mirror? Like, do I look healthy? Do I feel healthy? Do I feel energized? Do I have the energy and the momentum and like the stamina? And if I don't, then you know what? That's when I know that like I've got work to do. I've got progress to make. So anywho, this is day 3, just finished, of the 28-day Super Juice Me program. If you're interested in it, superjuiceme.com, or check out juicemaster.com. Jason Veld is an amazing advocate when it comes to juicing, and he's done lots of research and helped thousands and thousands of people, and I'm just grateful that my path crossed with his when it did, and that I got the chance to, you know, sit and chat with him at the as a guinea pig at the Fit Farm. To those friends that were at the Fit Farm at that time, we were all the guinea pig group. But yeah, like that conversation that I had that day really inspired me to understand that it was possible to get healthy. And that was like almost 10 years ago now. So in some ways, I'm kind of, you know, shame on me for not having done this sooner, for not having like made the decision and then followed through with it. But you know what? Like I've had my ups and downs. I've been struggling at times just in terms of like just making ends meet, like just, you know, getting through life, just understanding kind of what I should be focusing on, what my priorities are. And you know, I've learned a lot along the way. As much that like I'm very good at making lots of excuses. But this time round, like, you know, this is going to be 28 days where I don't make any excuses. And this is one of the reasons why I'm recording this video every day. Because I don't want to come to the end of the day and have nothing to record that like contributes to my progress, right? So every day, like, I'm going to move a little bit forward, and I don't care how long it takes me. I mean, actually, interestingly, one side effect that I did notice, sorry, I know this is like, I was going to do like a short 5-minute video, but stuff's coming to me, I'm sharing it, okay? That's the idea of a vlog, right? You share what you're thinking, you share what you're going through. It might be of help to some people. It might just be rambling and disappear on the internet. I don't know. Like, I'm sharing it. Like, if you're finding this interesting, if you're genuinely like, you know, with me on my journey, or just watching along, if you want to leave a comment below the video, or like wherever you see this, whether it be on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, like, you know, it'd be nice to know like if anybody's actually watching it. Like, I'm seeing view counts going up on some of these videos, and I'm like, okay, clearly somebody's watching it. Like, I'm just hoping it's just not me on repeat, right? Sitting in a sad corner, like watching it hundreds of times. No. It's not. Like, I'm pretty sure there are other people in the world that are watching this. So just, yeah, as an aside, I did lose some weight, not waist. Um, I've shrunk in size, like physically, like my trousers are getting loose. And I had to like do an extra 2 or 3 notches on the belt, like just to stop the trousers from falling down. It was an interesting experience. Like, I didn't realize, but it was like, oh, these are looser than usual. And this is only like 3 days in, right? So physically, I don't know if it's just water. I don't know if it's like fat. Like, I don't know what's happening right now in my body. All I know is that my body is changing, and it's changing for the better, right? Because, you know, we like it when the waist goes down. We like it when we have to do extra notches. I'm looking forward to, you know, getting to the point where it's like, okay, end of the notches, time for a new belt. Just looking at it, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 notches. 4 notches from the end of the belt. And I have been there before. Like, I have gotten all the way to the end of the belt, and then it's like, oh, I can't wear this belt anymore. It's too small. Or rather, too big, rather. But I don't think it's ever gone beyond that. Like, it's kind of goes all the way down to the last notch, and then in the past I've managed to, you know, bounce back into something that sort of, you know, the weight stays and then it goes back up or goes back down. Like, it just is not consistent. And that's one of the big things that, like, I was chatting with my brother earlier, and we were talking about how it's unsustainable, like, as a lifestyle change. And actually, you know what? Like, juicing isn't meant to be a lifestyle change. It's meant to be a part of a lifestyle. But, you know, like, this is it's 28 days is like it's like a clinical intervention, right? It's like if you are drunk and like an alcoholic and your family stages an intervention. Well, juicing is exactly the same, right? It's like this is a health intervention. And you know, like, um, oh, by the way, just as an aside, I found some Hello magazines that have Jason's DVD on them, so I got a few copies, like mainly to give out, right? Because I've already got my own copy. I've got like I bought the online version and downloaded it and stuff, but like. I've got physical DVDs that I'm gonna be giving out to a few people because, like, you know what, it might help a few other people, like not just me. Um, but yeah, so like Jason Vale talks about this hypothesis of like one disease, one solution. The disease is the toxins coming into the body. The solution is feed the body healthy stuff, right? It's like if you've got a fish tank full of dirty water, you don't put more stuff in there to kill the dirt. You put clean water in. So it's the same premise with juicing, right? It's like we're flooding the body with live nutrition, healthy foods, fruits, vegetables in their most, as natural state as possible. Obviously, once you've juiced it, like it does change its state, but that juicing is effectively doing the same job as your mouth would do. So, masticate, like we masticate with our mouths or we masticate with a juicer. And then it was interesting, like, just I have to share, like, I know it's a bit crude, but like, just put your fingers in your ears if you don't want to hear the crude stuff. And I'll put them back in when it's time to stop. So, when you see me doing that, you can take your fingers out your ears, but just put your fingers in your ears if you don't want to hear the crude stuff. But basically, when I was pooping, like, I was thinking, this is a bit like what happens in the juicer, right? It's like mastication happens here, so I missed that bit. So it goes straight into my bloodstream, into my physical body, does what it needs to do, and then like in the way that when a juicer is kind of expelling like the surplus waste or the fibrous bits that it no longer needs for the juice. That's kind of what I'm doing with my body, right? It's like when I poop, I'm basically doing what a juicer does, right? So I am a human juicer. Yes, I am a human juicer, and that's what we do, right? We masticate with our mouths, we consume the nutrition, it goes through our entire like system, and then it comes out the other end, right? The waste, the products or the bits that are of no value to the thing that we made, which in our case is healthy bodies, but in the juice's case is, live juice, live nutrition, right? Healthy live nutrition. So in that regard, like, it was just funny, like, because I've seen, like, in the retro juicer, I'll have to record it at some point. In the retro juicer, like, basically, as the pulp is coming out, it comes out in like a little stream, but like of solid like clump matter, and it's dry, right? It's only fruits and vegetables. There's nothing disgusting. But when it's coming out, it was just reminding me of like how when we poop, we kind of do that as well, right? Like we sort of sorry, we expel the waste products that are of no use or consequence to our bodies, right? So if you had to plug your ears, you can unplug them now. Yes, I've stopped talking about like stuff. Um, and yeah, just you know what, sharing it and kind of reflecting on it a bit, it's it's exciting. I think more than anything else, like I'm excited by how this is going to impact the rest of my life, how this is going to change me for the rest of my life. And it's interesting because if I had the literacy that I have now around juicing back when I first got overweight and back when I was first obese, when I had my first graduate job, I would have just gotten a juicer and started living it then. Like, and this is going back almost what, 2002, so 12 years ago now, right? So if 12 years ago I had been taught or had been educated or just had learned about um, juicing um, as a remedy, as a form of palliative care for my health, and I'd known overweight people drinking juice get healthy and they have more energy and they feel less tired and they feel less run down, um, I would have applied it. If I'd known back then that I could survive on nothing but fresh juice, because I was working crazy hours, like I was working in a data center in Switzerland and I was working different shifts every week. So every week I would Start and finish at a different time of the day. Some weeks it would be like, 3 in the morning is my start. Some weeks I'd be starting like 10 in the evening. Some weeks I'd be starting at like 6 in the morning. But it was a rotation. So you kind of, every week you only moved by a few hours from the week before. So, in theory, the adjustment should be a bit easier. But if I had known then what I know now about juicing, instead of living off of filet of fishes from McDonald's, doner kebab burgers, the sandwiches that were left over in the office, because in the evening, like if they were left over, like it's carte blanche, like we could just have them, because basically they would just get chucked anyway, and every day there were fresh sandwiches. So like I basically ate a lot of bread and a lot of sandwiches. So that's a lot of refined sugar, a lot of refined flour. I ballooned to become the largest size I'd ever been. Back then I was at my largest, about 60-inch waist. I still remember buying 60-inch trousers. It's like I couldn't find the store for them, but when I came back to England, like there was a store in New Malden that I could buy them from. Not that I'm proud of it, but just like it was that extreme that it just stuck out in my memory, right? Oakman. I even remember the brand because it was the only brand I could find that made 60 fit trousers that I could wear. Um, but back then, if I had known how to be healthy, if I'd known how to be physically, you know, rich in life, I would have so done it. Like I didn't have the mindset for it. I didn't have the frame of reference for it. Um, I was in the right space mentally, emotionally, personally. And you know what? It's been a journey. But, and this is the key, it's a journey that stops here, right? Like, I'm not continuing on that journey of living in an unhealthy body, being sick, being ill, um, having a terminal condition, lymphedema, like just swelling in the leg. That may clear up with the juicing. It may not. You know what? Like, I don't care. Like, as long as I get more energy, as long as I lose the weight, as long as I'm doing everything to optimize my health, as long as I'm doing everything to give myself the best chance of succeeding in life, that's all I can focus on, right? Like, and I'm taking the actions. I'm um, recording my reflections and my insights and my thoughts and experiences, and in the hopes that it might help somebody else who's on a day 3 of a 28-day juice fast and thinking, oh my god, like how the hell am I going to do it? You know what? It's really not that hard. Um, it's a decision I've made for my health. It's a decision I've made to live a quality of life that I wouldn't be able to have in a sick body, right? And living in a sick and diseased body, whilst I can get by, why should I, right? Like, if you know what you can do to thrive, if you know what you can do to live an amazing life, if it's going to cost you a couple £100 to get a juicer, it's going to take 1 month out of your life, and you're going to spend that time living anyway. Why not go all out? Why not do everything you can to basically maximize and optimize everything that you possibly can? And it's taken me a while to get here, right? Like, I don't know why I waited this long to get a masticating juicer. If anybody's even considering it, just get one. Just make that a priority. Your health is the most important thing. When you lose it, you know what? No amount of money is going to get it back. But if you're like even halfway from having it, or even if just that you want it and you need it, get yourself a masticating juicer. Get yourself an environment. Set yourself up into an environment where you can juice on a regular basis. Make that one of the essentials, the non-negotiables, right? For me, juicing is going to become one of my non-negotiables. Every day I'm going to juice, every day, without fail. And I'll get into the habit of waking up way before anybody else ever would, so that there's no excuses, right? Like, if I wake up at 5 a.m., I have 2 hours from 5 till 7 a.m. every day to make my juices, to prep for the day. Obviously, once I'm physically lighter, when I've got less weight, when I'm finish this kind of stage of the detox where the body's just getting rid of toxins and adjusting and getting used to, rejigging and, just changing, is going to take a bit more effort. And not effort in so much as like it's hard work, but effort in terms of just got to keep persevering, right? Like I know there's a healthy body at the other end of this. I know that there's a vitality, a vibrancy, almost like a zeal for life that I have, but I can't access yet. And that's coming, right? So, this is now, God, like, this is almost a half an hour video. Like, I was going to do like 5 minutes and go to bed. I was like, oh, I'm so tired. This is now half an hour, right? I've been on nothing but juice for 3 days. Juice and water. And I think I've had like one or maybe two teas so far. But that was more just because I was feeling cold. I was physically feeling cold, and I was like, okay, I want something warm to hold on to. And then it's like, well, if I'm going to have a tea, I might as well have a peppermint tea and drink it as well and warm me from the inside. But yeah, so this is fundamentally a decision that I made, not least because I've been desperately wanting to do it. And previous times that juice fasts have come around, like it's just not been practical. Too many things happening, too many distractions, my health not being enough of a priority, money being in short supply, and you know what, money is legitimately an issue. Like, in so much as until you've learned to manage it properly, or you've got enough of it that you don't have to think about it, you need to address that. I'm addressing that personally myself, right? Like, it is something which is high on my list of priorities. By May this year, I want to clear all my debts, like all of my debts, everything that I've ever owed throughout my entire life. I want to just clear it. I want to just get rid of it. And I want to have enough money to be able to do that, right? So that gives me, we're in January now, May is 5 months away, right? So in 5 months, I want to clear all my debts and I want to be debt free, right? And, then by the end of this year, I want to be in a position where I have savings again and I've got like reserves. And in some ways, I've realized like I do that with my health, right? Like I am living on negative equity, like I'm living on debt with my health, right? Like I've borrowed the health from the future me to be able to stay alive now, right? Now imagine what will happen when I start building up the reserves of my health, when I start tapping into and accessing those cash flows, right? The cash flows of health. When I'm feeding my body healthy nutrition, when I'm feeling alive and vibrant. Like right now is the icky, sticky, yucky phase of kind of, oh God, we have to get the house in order, right? Once the house is in order, once the cells are just like buzzing with life, oh my God, that's when it's going to get exciting. And that's what I'm working towards, right? Like I'm working towards getting back to a baseline of health, not a baseline of coping, not a baseline of surviving, but a baseline of vibrant health, right? Of like waking up in the morning feeling alive, waking up in the morning feeling energized, not lethargic and kind of rolling out of bed. And, oh my God, I feel so tired. Like, I don't want to live like that anymore. And I know I don't have to. I know that's a choice. It's a choice. It may not be a conscious choice. It may not be a deliberate choice, but it's a choice nonetheless. What we eat, what we drink, how we feed our bodies, how we feed our minds, that reflects in our physical experience. That reflects in how our bodies are. And so by nourishing my mind, nourishing my body, nourishing my soul, with things that are yummy. I mean, that's kind of why the whole yummynutrients.com came about, right? The phrase, the label, the handle of yummy nutrients came about because I wanted to nourish myself in such a way that it just feels yummy, right? Like you watch an inspiring video, it feels yummy. I was watching Lewis Howes earlier, or even listening to some of his podcasts. He did an interview with Eddie the Hip Hop the Preacher. I'll link to it here. Yeah, Eddie the Hip Hop the Preacher. It'll be a YouTube video, so I'm hoping YouTube will let me just link to it, right? But in watching it, it was like, yeah, like you know, that's feeding my mind. Like, this is somebody that's inspiring me. Lewis Howes, he inspires me. Lewis Howes goes out of his way to interview amazing people and shares his learnings and his insights with us on his podcast, School of Greatness. I highly recommend you check it out. But it's one of the few things that I'm like regularly tapping for inspiration, regularly tapping for mindset, regularly tapping for just like taking my life to a whole new level. Um, and I appreciate that. Lewis Howes, you are awesome. I really love your shows. I love your interviews. I love the questions you ask. I love the curiosity that you have with your guests. And most of all, I love that you're like just producing this content on a regular basis and putting it out there in the world, and we're able to consume it because like it is inspiring, right? Like it's interesting. Like and just this will be the last thing, and then I'll call it a night for tonight. Like I apologize, it's half an hour. It'll probably be like 45 minutes by the time I finish. But you know what? Like I want to share this, and if anybody in the world is even vaguely interested and benefits from it just one little bit, then you know, so be it. So and you know, that's kind of why I'm doing it, right? Like it's for me to self-reflect, but also to share with others some of my wisdom, some of my insights, some of my experience, and you know, maybe some of it may be of use to you, some of it may be of value to you, and if it is, you know, I hope you apply what you can of this and use what is inspiring for you. You know, I'm like just an overweight guy who's spent so much time learning about this stuff, but not necessarily applying everything as much as I could. And the thought I had, the insight that I had was around always always looking to go to the next level. And I've kind of lived my life like that. I've always been one of those people that is constantly looking for what can I do to improve? What can I do to make myself better? What can I do more of? Right? And you know what? That can get exhausting, right? Like if you don't stop, if you don't rest, if you don't recharge, if you don't take time out for yourself, like that's what burnout is, right? That's what happens when you keep pushing yourself, you keep pushing yourself, and more importantly, like you're not getting the results or the response that provides you with the support you need to keep doing it, right? Like that was my big insight, is that I need to just stop, right? Like I need to stop, um, you know, chasing the dream, right? Like having these projects, like, and it's interesting because I'm saying it and I know I'm saying it and I know that I've kind of made that conscious decision that I'm going to slow things down and I'm going to go one step at a time. But I can't help myself at the same time. Like I'm thinking about like just some of the conversations I've had in the last week or so, right? Like about projects around, you know, generating a sustainable income, generating more revenues. And I'm just like, oh, like there is an element of learning something new. There is an element of it's going to require effort to do it. But truth be told, um, I don't know that I can stop like being curious about this stuff, right? Like I can't stop being curious about what does it take to succeed. I can't stop being curious about like how do you become successful, right? How do you establish a financial base that gives you the freedom to be able to live your life independently, to be able to just, you know, choose how you want to spend your time. Um, and I've given myself like um, an objective, right? Like it's not a goal, it's an objective, right? And the objective is to increase my income by leveraging my money, right? So from what I earn from the work that I do, contracting and you know doing client work, um, I want to put that money to work, right? Like I don't want to be working for my money. I want my money to be working for me. Um, and the insight was really around how I've been hustling, I guess, like just pushing myself and just getting out there, networking, meeting with people, learning, studying, educating myself. Like I've been doing it for a really long time. And I'm kind of good at what I do, right? Like I really know my stuff. I know it inside out. And I question that all the time. I'm always like wondering, like, not just am I good enough, not just like do I have what it takes, but more just kind of like who can I learn from, right? What is there that I don't know? What is there that I can like figure out or do? Um, and whilst that's helpful, like, whilst it's good to have a growth mindset, it's good to always be looking at like how can I grow, how can I improve? Um, I think there's sometimes a tendency to fixate on it a bit too much, right? Is like, you know what, there is nothing wrong with just enjoying life. There's nothing wrong with just going with the flow, right? I wouldn't want to live my entire life like that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do have aspirations. I do want to leave this world in a much, much better way than it was when I arrived. I want to make an impact. I want to, help people as much as I can with, what resources I have at my disposal and, what means I have available to me. It's one of the reasons why I keep uh, pushing myself, right? To try to do more, to try to be more, to try to have more so that I can give more, right? Like, because, like, that's the only reason why I do what I do. Like, I genuinely, I want to just be able to give back to more people than, like, I am able to right now. And I'm not in a position to do anywhere near the scale of contribution or giving that I want to be able to effect. So, and rather than focusing on that, like I realized I need to focus on me, right? Like I need to nurture me. I need to be in good health. I need to be in a good space mentally. I need to give myself the time and the space to just be me, right? And Eddie the Hip Hop Preacher on Lewis House's podcast, he was talking about taking a few hours for yourself, right? Like being selfish. And not selfish in the sense of like being greedy, but selfish in the sense of put yourself first, right? Like prioritize you, right? You're the one that has to go to work on your business. You're the one that needs the space. You're the one that needs the bandwidth. You're the one that needs to be in like a peak mindset. You're the one that needs to like, focus and deliver. um, and he talked about carving that time out of your day and just like prioritizing that for you, for your business, for your work. So my insight was, I need to be doing that for me as well. Like, and it's something I've known for a while now. Like, it's one of the reasons why I've kind of deliberately gone after a contract role that allows me to work, relatively kind of office hours and then be able to step away from the office and just not like, um, not interact with work so that I can have time to be me again. So I can have time to like just be, have hobbies, go bowling, learn play the piano, sing, watch movies. Like I do some of those things, but like to really just give myself the space to be able to just enjoy life, right? And not worry about like what's the next big thing. I mean, yes, it's in my nature, an opportunity crosses my path. Like I am gonna look at the opportunity. I am gonna investigate where I can. But equally, I need to get really, really good at just saying no, and really, really good at just declining it, right? And it's like no skin off my back. You know what? There's a million opportunities out there. There are probably 50 or 100 opportunities across your path every single day, and you don't even see them, right? I don't think opportunities are the problem. I don't think the lack of opportunities is the problem. The problem is execution and our inability to execute effectively because we're getting distracted, because we're looking at the next big thing, because we're looking at what else is there around the corner, what else is there that we can do. And so, yeah, like, I think there's value and merit in deliberately slowing things down, taking a step back and just appreciating what you have, and giving yourself the space to just enjoy it, and not necessarily like I know there's value in investing in your education, investing in mentors, investing in support mechanisms. And personally, I'm getting to the point where for me, there's even more value in having money in the bank account, right? Like just saving up a serious sum of money that is there if I need it. And not to use, not to fall back on, but just it's there. That is some pot of money that you have at your disposal should you ever need it. Um, so I'm working on that. I'm working on building up my reserves. I'm working on building up my energy reserves, on my physical reserves, on my financial reserves. Um, and yeah, it's now like 3:50 in the morning. I really should stop and go to bed. I'm tired and I want to sleep and I want to share my wisdom, and I guess this is why I'm producing these videos every day. Um, but I will try to record the next one at an earlier time so I'm not so like tired and falling asleep and having trouble keeping myself up. Um, so yeah, day 3 of the Super Juice Me Detox. Um, maybe like I'm clearing out my thoughts in the way that I'm clearing out all the toxins in the body through doing this. I don't know. My ideas, my concepts. Maybe this is just who I am regardless, right, of what I eat and how I feed my body. I don't know. What I do know is I feel quite sore and I need to go to sleep. So that's all for now. Um, have a good evening and I shall see you all tomorrow. Um, yeah. Good night.